All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fengyun Dota 2 tournament. We have First Departure versus Vici Gaming in an excellent best-of-3 series here on Beyond the Summit. We've already had 2 games go on so far, of course. This is the round of 16, single elimination. 2 teams are already gone. 2 teams have already moved forward here in the tournament, but another best-of-3s to start us off here right now. Once again, thanks for joining us. My name is Mott. With me tonight is Basecap. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you holding up? It's getting a little bit early or late, I guess, however you want to frame it for you. So
I think early is probably the most accurate term. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. We've been doing it for a while. I'm no stranger to strange sleep schedules, though, so I'm not doing too badly. And, you know, we have more Dota to keep going, which I can't complain about that. Excellent Dota, always.
Yep. So, best of 3, winner is going to be playing against DK in the next round. Unfortunately for First Departure, seems like they have a couple of stand-ins, and I believe they're also going to be playing on pretty high ping since we're on Perfect World servers and they're in SEA. So less than ideal conditions, unfortunately, for First Departure, but still hopefully looking forward to some good Dota.
Yeah, and on top of that, they have to deal with 2 stand-ins, which is a bit of a rough start here up against a team that's been arguably the best, or one of the best in China as of right now. Vici Gaming, they came on strong. They had the really great Signet Dota 2 Cup happening for them in the past couple of weeks, as well as on top of that, going over to Europe with Raid Call EMS1 and taking down Fnatic in an excellent series for them. They also played just a couple of nights ago up against LGD International, and I gotta say, FY really impressed me with his Rubik play, and guess what? He's gonna be doing it again. And you know, we've seen a trend here, I think, Basecap, with this hero.
Yeah, we've seen this exact opening today as well, I think, with the Rubik Visage. So looks like Rubik's back to being top pick. I guess maybe it does go back to the fact that we were talking about all the supports have kind of been bumped down to the same level now, and people just like playing Rubik a lot. If you had to choose between a whole bunch of supports that are at a similar level in terms of power right now. So the Rubik picks will continue. Of course, it is up against a Clockwork as well, so you can throw him out of his cogs. It's a nice hero to have for that reason. And if First Departure want to run a Weaver or something like that, Rubik's only going to be happier with his lot in life.
Yeah, absolutely, and it really just goes to show you how highly they do value this hero, and for good reason. We keep talking about it. The skill cap is so high, has so much potential, and you talked about how Rubik, you know, he's back to being where he was not too long ago. You think about a year ago from now, and Rubik is, well, maybe about a year and a half ago at TI2. Rubik's a strong hero, but mostly played mid. Now he's back into his old standby. I guess even last year he's played very well, so support, he's back doing what he does best, but the Outworld Devourer coming out, a very strong second pick for First Departure, and something that's really tough to deal with. And they're going to go ahead and ban out the Razor, make sure that OD is having an okay time, not dealing with, of course, those certain counters to that hero.
Yeah, so they do need to do a little bit of work to set up the OD properly. Vici Gaming, actually, interestingly enough, just worried about the Chen and the Enchantress, so just going to ditch them, still hanging on to all of their bonus time and moving towards the Nick. So that's going to be their answer for the OD over at mid.
Yeah, absolutely. Mana Burn, just a great ability up against that Outworld Devourer. Very, very good at harassing him down, doing damage to him. And potentially could go through to the mid lane. We'll see if First Departure decides to change things up a bit. I'm not sure if they will. And it's important to know, you talked about the bans coming out from the Chen and Enchantress. Really, VG and most other Chinese teams, they don't want to have to head into the opposing team jungle too early on and have to deal with those jungling kind of heroes. So they just ban it out and say, listen, we don't have to deal with it. Now that's done, that's taken care of. We can focus on better parts of our draft. So VG just feeling like they want to play their own game. They don't have to deal with the game of First Departure as of right now. So First Departure with 46 seconds left on reserve time, they're going to need to pick up some supports here, as a couple of them are already banned out. You see actually really 4 of them if you include the Alchemist in that statement. So just like that, Vici Gaming, they've got, I think, a better draft here because they have all of those supports banned out. Now First Departure, like, what do we pick up? Do they pick up a Bane here?
It is a difficult call. A lot of your premium supports are already gone. There's still the Shadow Demon, I think, of course. There's not. I think they want a little bit more info, but the problem is that your generic supports are kind of gone. Maybe you just look towards something like a Vengeful Spirit at this point. But they still keep things open. They pick up the Windranger, so could be your aggressive tri-lane farmer, could be a support, could be a mid if they want to safe lane the OD.
Yeah.
they figure out some way to give themselves options.
Yeah, and that's the thing right now, is giving themselves options, because the draft is without those supports, you don't know what's going to happen, but everything is a little bit unclear, and that kind of makes the draft for VG a little bit harder, I think. So I like the fact that they keep their draft open-ended. I talked about it in the last series as well. What's important to note is that some of the strongest heroes in the pool are still available. We got a Bristleback still available, you've got the Slark still available, so 2 heroes that do very well. But we do see Vici Gaming going for a Luna, and once again, it's a hero that's seen a lot of play, but for good reason.
Is this the same lineup? Not? Is this it?
I think it is. It looks very similar, if not altogether the same. Yeah,
well, that game it was offlane Nyx and solo mid DK. But I think this time around it's going to be mid Nyx. But so far this is the same draft. But First Departure don't really have the same kind of lineup that DT ran in that game one. So I think it should work out alright for Vici Gaming. We've seen this draft a lot because it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Unless it gets rushed down within the first 10-15 minutes.
Which isn't going to happen, because you look at their lineup, Clockwork will be harassing early on, but the OD does require some time to get started. At least 1 point in Arcane Orb, which generally means you got to max out those other 2 abilities first. So with OD ramping up, it gives time for Vici Gaming to do things of their own. Wind Ranger as well is probably going to be, I'm not sure how they're going to play yet. They do pick up the Earthshaker, which is one of their supports. We know that much for sure, I feel like. Yeah, he might be a farming hero, but I highly doubt it in this scenario. Still, though, not a bad pickup at all for First Departure.
Yeah, I think just a nice pickup overall. They've got some solid support options here. They've still got the option to maybe go for an aggressive tri-lane if Vici are really, really greedy about how they play this, but I don't know if you want to risk aggressively tri-laning into a Luna and a Visage when you are not at your full strength and you're playing on pretty high ping. So I think for First Departure, it's just going to be a pretty defensive start from them. And Vici Gaming, nothing too surprising, just going to pick up the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, and this gives them a lot of options, and I talked about it before, and I'm going to keep kind of just hammering it home, but like, it gives them options to push, gives them options to fight, it gives them options to gank and be aggressive. So with Vici Gaming's lineup, they like to get a little bit of everything, and I've said that before, and, you know, I don't claim to be an expert in their playstyle, but it certainly seems that they got what they wanted out of this draft. First Departure, maybe not so much. Then again, they have a couple of picks coming out for them, or 1 more pick to go, and they only actually have 8 seconds of reserve time, and Vici didn't use any, by the way, which is pretty impressive when it comes to a draft. So we'll see if this draft does go their way. The last pick is going to be that Bristleback. Like I talked about, it was available. A strong 5th pick. Why not? The value Bristleback.
Bristleback plus OD, you're never, ever, ever going to run out of mana. You can just buy whatever you want. You could buy... I would love to see a first item mech, honestly, on this Bristle. And I think it's a really nice pickup. Vici Gaming don't necessarily have the best heroes to deal with the Bristleback getting up in their face, especially with the Clockwork as well. All of Vici's heroes are going to have a really hard time with the Bristle just running at them, and you know, if they get hooked by Clockwork, all of them have a pretty hard time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how this game does pan out, though. We are going to jump into the game itself in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Reminder that this is game number 1 between First Departure and Vici Gaming, of course, in a best-of-3 series. And don't forget, this is not our last best-of-3 of the night. After this one, I think we have MVP Phoenix versus LGD. I believe that's the match. Yeah, that's right. Hashtag hard work, hashtag dedication coming up after this set here. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have one more series to play before that actually happens. We are going to jump into the game, ladies and gentlemen. And for what seems to be the 3rd or 4th time tonight, an immediate pause coming through, but that's just fine. So while we have this time, we will go ahead and introduce some of the heroes here. For First Departure, we have Stand and Blank on the Outworld Devourer, Lubby will be on the Earthshaker, Stand and Beyond will be on the Clockwork, we'll have Ah-Chin on the Wind Ranger, and Hana on the Bristleback. Baseskip, why don't you go ahead and do Vici Gaming?
So over on Vici, we've got Super handling the Nyx Assassin, Fenrir is going to be on the Visage, we've got Sylar on the Luna, RTK on the Nature's Prophet, and FY is going to be on his Rubik. Looking forward to some plays.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, FY, I talked about it before, he had a really great plays. He got a Blink Dagger very early on in the 2nd, or I believe it was the 3rd game up against LGD International. Stole so many good spells, I can't even think about him right now, but he was all over the place. So look to have FY and Fenrir be the real backbone, I think, for Vici Gaming in this game right now. But the pause is going to go away. We'll see how the lanes shape up, who wants to be sent where. For VG, it seems to be pretty standard, you know, understanding what's going to happen with their lanes as of right now. Same for first departure, a little bit less so. I think, you know, you don't know where this bristleback is going to roam just yet. You don't know who's going mid. It looks like it's going to be a Wind Ranger support. She has the Sentry Wards and the Smoke of Deceit on her, but it looks like it is going to be a solo, well, not a solo, but maybe perhaps a safe lane farming OD. I'm not sure, though, because he's got 3 GG branches and a Tango, so that could be a bottle.
It's mid Clockwork, and it's safe lane OD.
Okay.
Because if you look at the Clockwork's build, he's just being pulled a single Tango. He's rushing a bottle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I thought it might have been a bottle quickly on the OD because he had the Tango there, but of course the pooled Tango without even buying one even means a faster bottle for the Clockwork, which is pretty nice to have. So we'll see Mian in the mid lane right now, and it looks actually it's going to be dual lanes coming out from first departure. I'm not sure if these are set in stone as of yet, but
yeah, they're going to block Ancients. The Earthshaker is going to pull creep waves into Ancients, and the Bristleback's going to farm under the tier 1. I think is the plan, and the Windrunner is going to sit up top and pull a little bit. That's why she got sentries to start, just in case for whatever reason they made their way all the way up there and blocked out the camp. The sentries maybe should be on the Earthshaker instead, just in case the Ancient camp gets blocked out. He'd be able to deward it, but maybe even the Windrunner is going to head back to bot. We'll see.
And FY does have those Sentry Wards up and ready to go, so at the first sign of trouble, they can just throw up a Sentry Ward on the Ancient camp or even an Observer Ward. At some point in time, so they would have to ferry those bottom, and that would be an issue, obviously. So, well, Achen is the one that has them up on him right now on the Wind Ranger, like you mentioned. We will see what happens, however, and yeah, look at this immediate Sentry Ward coming out from VG. Look, that's just perfect timing for them.
Yeah, well, the Dire Ward spotted FY doing all of this as well, so they know that they have to try and bring the sentries down. They're just going to be left on the ground. Lobby's going to come grab them, and they will be able to do their shenanigans, but it's just going to take them a little bit longer to get underway.
Yeah, so it'll take some time to ramp up. Obviously, the first creep wave, probably, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to bring it in there just yet. So it won't stop this one. The wave will go out, and already we do have some harass coming out in the mid lane. This is an interesting matchup to see. The Impale is coming out early. The right clicks as well into Mian. He took some damage there. I think he used his cogs to try to push out Super. Super not making the mistake of running in there twice. And so far, so good coming out from both sides. The off-lane Nature's Prophet should be fine. He went for boots first, so not even in any real trouble. And he shouldn't be. I mean, he shouldn't go down unless a nice Shackle Shot hits, but even then, there's not really that much an OD can do early on, other than just right-click him down.
Yeah, am I the only one that's a little bit bothered by the fact that... So I tried to check who this stand-in was. I think it's also... There's somebody in SEA, and I can't remember who it is, who sometimes plays as stand-in, but... That's just what they do, and I can't for the life of me remember who it is off the top of my head. But I tried to check Steam profile, Dota profile, just try and get a hint as to who it might be, but there's no way of knowing whatsoever. This person will remain a mystery.
He is the mystery man. The mystery stand coming out for SEA Dota in first departure. And yeah, I was just like, that's just a stand-in? He's questioning it? Yeah, it's going to bother us, I think, but at the same time, what are you going to do? Maybe some chat, hero will come out and help us all. I'm not sure about that, but as of right now, he will remain anonymous. So, the match continues on further at 2 minutes into the game, and so far, Nyx Assassin with 8 last hits, doing actually pretty well. Super, playing up against Mian. I do want to check pings. I know that might be not an issue for some people, but I would like just to see how they're doing. Not just yet. I'll wait and see if there's any action before.
Yeah, I'll check, and I can read it off.
Excellent. I'm glad that you decided to take the reins on that one, because people might be yelling at me, but...
So all of Vici are sitting at around 100, pretty much, all the way across the board. Yeah, 100 all the way across the board. And then first departure, everybody under the FD backtick tag is playing between 170 and 200. And then the stand-in is 130, and stand-in on the OD is like 200. So... Nobody below 140 for first departure.
Yeah, it's not unplayable, but it's certainly frustrating, I gotta say.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Especially for a lot of people in SEA, a lot of the players in Singapore, they are used to playing on 10 to 15 ping. So it really sucks for them playing on perfect world.
Yeah, and so they'll have to get used to that. They'll have to find a way to, just rectify it, and not rectify it, but I guess just deal with the ping issues as of right now. And ping issues are always going to be a part of Dota, especially with online tournaments, so it's something that things have to, you know, progress a little bit more in Dota for it to be super stable. But for right now, you know, we'll just see Vici Gaming. They are having a little bit of an advantage, whether that's from ping or not, who's to decide. Luna does have a little bit of a last-hitting advantage over the OD in the top lane. ROTK is getting a lot out of this offlane, surprisingly enough. He's sitting on 10 last hits. They're not really harassing him out. He's probably going to get an early Midas if he wants to. They'll do some work here on this tier 1 tower bottom. They know that since it's pushing in and the Bristleback is trying to farm it, they could just do damage to it, which would provide a nice little boost to the economy of VG.
Yeah, so first departure, things are kind of looking alright for the time being. RTK, like you said, is getting quite a bit over in the offlane. And mid lane is super interesting to me, both because there's not that much kill potential unless the Clockwork gets a nice cog down, but the fact that both heroes want to move around really aggressively as soon as they start getting level 6. So the whole map is going to open up as soon as that happens, and we'll see which mid lane is going to be a little bit more effective in setting up these games.
Yeah, I think that, honestly, I would say Mian and the Clockwork, but you can never count out a Nyx Assassin and his Vendetta. They should be prepared for that at level 6, but, you know, you're not 100% sure. I mean, they should have Sentry Wards ready. And speaking of that, the Earthshaker carrying them is actually level 2, and he's not doing a whole lot. Obviously, the Ancients have taken some damage, and they've done a little bit of pulling. There's Phase Boots up on ROTK, but really what is, you know, first departure getting out of this bottom lane with Lubby here? Nope, never mind.
TP in mid.
Yeah, there's actually that TP. It got canceled. It looks like the Soul Assumption. They canceled that TP, and that's First Blood going to Super up in the top lane. There's going to be ROTK trying to get out of there. That's why he couldn't TP. He's going to go down. It's not First Blood, however, but OD likes the kill nonetheless.
Yeah, nice little pickup for first departure. Unfortunately, they do end up losing the Clockwork on mid, but yeah. A trade's still a trade. RTK dying is still RTK dying. He's actually gone for Phase Boots first. He's got them up at a pretty quick pace. So, like we said, he's just having a good game overall. I'm not sure about the decision from the Windrunner to just sit here and harass him instead of trying to pull and get some of her own levels, but I think it's fine. It's probably 50-50 either way. You could choose to get a little bit more and just leave the OD to deal with the Prophet.
Yeah, honestly, it's an interesting decision, but it's something that hasn't been too bad as of yet. Hana taking a lot of damage. Soul Assumption, that'll grab the kill. That was very close. Fenrir, the telekinesis came in time from FY to make sure they picked up and secured that kill. All while that was happening, Super was Vendetta top. He couldn't get anything going, but still down bottom they get the kill.
Oh, got stepped.
Yeah, the juice.
That's really sad for Clockwork, because that first hookshot always feels like it should just be a guaranteed kill when you use it, but now he has to kind of wander around a bit. Super also missed that first attempted gank on top with the Vendetta, so I guess we'll call it 0-all so far.
Yes.
For the mid laners.
And the mid lane gank squad, nothing's done yet, but we'll see as the game progresses who gets the edge in that one. And so far, that's going to be the tier 1 tower down bottom taken for Sylar. Very nice play there, and that's going to get him even more farm. So he'll have some decent farm early on in this matchup, and that's always a good start. If you can get Sylar going early on, definitely what you like to see. Top lane, though, OD has 41 last hits, now sitting at 42. His Forest Dev has already done at 654. And more often now, we're seeing people forego the Midases here, and I love it. In Midas gaming, I'm sick of it. Let's just see items. Let's see early action. I definitely don't mind this type of playstyle coming out from both sides.
Yeah, I think this is fine. I like the decision from Vici, especially with their safe lane Luna, to just buy kind of early, active, aggressive items, bring down that tier 1. Mian, a little bit of trouble mid, TP coming in as well from the Prophet, not even needed. Soul Assumption in some right hand side.
Yep, so this time around they won't lose ROTK in the process of him TPing to the lane. He decides to stay up there, continue farming further. He is actually going to TP down to the bottom lane as Hana looks like he's in a bit of trouble. Sprout is going to come out. Can they take him down? Telekinesis. Oh yeah, he is done. ROTK grabbing that kill and more farm for him, which he loves. And maybe now he transitions into that Midas that we see so often.
Yeah, I would say the more common build has become now. People finish the Phase Boots and then go back for the Midas. I haven't seen a naked Midas rush in a very long time.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower
I think that's just because they want to be aggressive early on, and it promotes those kills. And then if you get those kills, then you can transition to that Midas. If not, just focus on farming. But Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they want to do in terms of the rest of the team's items, in terms of the first departures items. You can see Ah-Chin, he's making his way down here. He's gotten out a whole lot. Hook shot in, though, coming in from the side of that Clockwork Super. Spike carapace up, Soul Assumption. There's an Impale. He's trying to get it off, and will. Mana Burn, Nature's Wrath, Mian. It gets turned against him. Now the Wind Ranger desperately wants this kill. One more right click should do the job, but may fall in the end. No, the right click's OD. Here to Astral, just in case, but the cancel TP coming out from ROTK. He wants to TP in there, but obviously that haste rune from Ah-Chin's paying off, and he'll survive.
Yeah, RTK, you gonna try it? Winner's like, he might go for it. I gotta be careful about how I get back to base, but no, he's looks like he's gonna be fine. RTK just goes back to farming, so ends up being just the 1-for-1 there. Over in the river, Stand-In has managed to trap somebody, but help is on its way mid.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fenrir with the body blocks. The TP coming in from ROTK right now. The Sprout, the Telekinesis up. They impale everything going their way. I mean, look at these combined up stuns. Lubby in a bad position. The right clicks. Is it going to be enough? Just barely not. As there is TP rotations coming through. Mian trying to go on Super. Now, Vendetta. You can see the Sentry Ward's on the ground, but he will make his way out of there. They're looking for ROTK. Now coming in the backside, they see Super, but the Impale onto 2. They can't avoid the Impale. And the Lucent Beam. Mian, Telekinesis up. Super, Spike Carapace. Hook shot in. Doesn't save his life. Sylar with a double kill. Not what you want to have happen, and maybe a tower after that engagement.
Oh man, first departure, things are just completely falling apart at the seams. The offlane had already had a terrible time. Lubby is level 3 at this point. I mean, he was level 2 for a very long time, and I think just well played by Vici Gaming. They knew exactly what first departure were up to, and they just punished it by pushing down the tier 1. Nothing that they could do. Now the Earthshaker is wandering around the map with basically nothing to his name. He has actually been able to pick up an energy booster, but he's only level 3.
Yeah,
so
I mean, look at the hero
so
level
much
chart.
He can do.
Look at, like, if you press E, it's just
oh,
like...
man, poor Earthshaker.
He's very sad, and Lubby's had a rough game, and that's what happens when you kind of dedicate yourself to that strategy early on with, you know, the Ancients and just roaming and not being able to accomplish enough. But if his team can get 1 or 2 team fights going their way, that experience is going to come in fast and furious. So there is an upside, if, you know, only a little.
Yeah, they would be in a much better position even if they just had like a Vit booster on the Bristleback, but he is also just dirt poor. Nobody really has anything aside from this Force Staff up on the OD. Even the Clockwork is just like rocking a magic wand in a bottle right now, while Vici Gaming are Arcane Boots and a Force Staff and beginnings of a BKB on Sylar. I don't know how First Departure make their way back from this. They are going to back off, grab a little bit of farm, but it's tough. They have to win a team fight to be able to take some tier 1s at this point, because they don't have any tier 1 towers left to trade for Vici Gaming's tier 1s.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. So the thing is, though, I think VG are taking some time before they head up here for this tier 1 tower. It's the safe lane tower, so it's a little bit more difficult to take down here. And ROTK, though, does get room to farm because of this. As Midas is done, we mentioned how he went back to that item. The smoke ain't coming from VG. They don't want to let up, and they should find Hana here.
Nice hook shot top lane. RTK gets caught out. Will be brought down.
And down to the bottom lane, just like that, a very similar gank coming through with just the Vendetta leading the way that time around. So I missed that gank top, and RTK, I think, is the better end of that trade. They do get something out of it, but First Departure is feeling pretty happy about it, I believe.
Yeah, First Departure are just going to take whatever they can get at this point. They will trade evenly all day if they can. End some streaks, get some towers. They really do not mind.
They really don't. And so that's something that will give them at least a little bit of experience in gold going their way. I mean, level 4 now for the Earthshaker, he's still a bit behind, and he's staying behind, but he is getting closer to that all-important level 6 with that Echo Slam, but without anything to do with it, like a Blink Tag or even Arcane Boots, which I think he might have just gotten. It's going to be tough. The Deny not able to come out for ROTK in that top lane, and First Departure's OD stand-in will grab that kill. Down bottom, rotation through Mian, hook shot on cooldown for about 8 seconds. Use that in that top lane like you mentioned, and they may look for a kill here, but they've got no vision in the jungle, so Sylar should be okay to continue on farming.
So Vici just kind of playing things quite patiently right now. FY, don't know why he was considering walking forward there. There's not anyone too close behind him. He doesn't have any wards to go and place anything, so Yeah, now gonna back up super, Hana.
Oh, the Vendetta, the Impale, easy gank there with the Lucent Beam, cleaning it all up now. Spell was stolen, that's Fisher. Lovey's blocked in, Eclipse is going Mian, taking a bit of damage. Not from that, the Creep Wave took it up, the Cogs. I don't know if you want to be there, Mian, but a nice power shot nonetheless. Double kill coming out from Super. 3 down on first departure. They're taking everything they can get. The Sprout further, the Impale, that's a Wind Ranger down. That's 4 heroes dead. First departure of 3 kills to their name at 13 minutes in. They're losing too many heroes and perhaps a tier 2 tower on top of that.
Yeah, I think this tier 2 tower is dead for sure. They do have a glyph, but even if they use it, I don't think they can hope to defend. So that's going to be tier 2 down, and at this point, I'm not sure how first departure recover. They do have the beginnings of a mech up on Hana, so the plan, which was to 5-man maybe 5 minutes ago, could perhaps still happen, but I think at this point Vici have to make a pretty significant blunder for this game to get away from them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really think that there needs to be a throw of drastic measures, even though it's only about 10,000, and I say only, and that's kind of funny, but a 10,000 gold lead at this point coming out for VG at 14 minutes in. We've seen larger gold leads, but that doesn't mean it's just as bad. So with this, VG are going to look to maybe take more objectives like those tier 1s top, the tier 2 top, the Ro16, which is clearly available to them, and there's no way I think that... I mean, if first departure contest this, they've got to have a really good fight. Now up at the top lane, the top jungle, Force Staff in, Clockwork going to initiate with that hook shot. Of course, there's going to be a nice Sprout pushing them away. Super decides to go around it, and that should be the end of the engagement. Actually, Sylar, as well as the Visage Super, looking for an Impale. He does hit it. Achin juked back into it. Unfortunately, the Soul Assumption, that'll grab the kill. He's done. Lucent Beam now. The Cogs. Oh, the Visage stun's going real well for Fenrir. He grabs a double kill because of it, and his W, the Soul Assumption, doing some work in that engagement.
Vici Gaming. I mean, they are deep in dire territory back there, but it just doesn't matter with how far ahead they are. Sylar's got 4.3k gold in the banks, so if he wants his BKB, it's finished and then some, and first departure, just... well, they're holding on for as long as they can, but yeah, that was...
middle tower is under
if they weren't already dead, that was probably the final nail in the coffin just then.
Yeah, the items are going to start getting out of control. You see the Shadow Blade up for ROTK. First departure have pretty much, like you said, nothing to their name. I mean, they're trying to get to that mech on Hana, which you called that quickly in the draft, by the way. That's the item choice because of the OD, and of course because of the Essence or Mana for days, as they say, for first departure. So let's see here. Smoke up. I guess this is what they got to do. This has got to be it.
You got to do something. This is... Look, maybe if they get like 2 pickoffs, they can grab a tier 1, they can grab Roshan. The world is their oyster at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They have to get something first, though, is the problem.
Oh, but they run right into Super. Where are the Sentry Wards? It's on the ground right here. They do spot him out. Super may be in a bit of trouble. Nice spike carapace. He knew it was coming, but does he have help coming through? Nice shackle shots going to latch him to a tree. He got pushed out with his own Force Staff. He is going to fall. And, well, the Rubik is going to go ahead and try to get out of there. He's astraled up. Nice Fisher stuns. Does he have anything to make himself out of there? No Blink Dagger, no Force Staff. Fisher's up. There's the power shot to grab the kill. So 2 down, and suddenly Vici Gaming, they lose 2. But they also, you know, grab the tier 1 tower top. Still, though, not the best trade in the world.
It's a real shame for first departure that they don't manage to transition that into anything. They're going to try and push mid a bit, but somebody has to go and deal with Sylar top. He's already got a BKB and a Yasha at this point. Vici are maybe getting a little bit sloppy, honestly. They are a long way ahead, but I don't think that that's any reason not to just close out the game. Quick Smart, it's still a full best of 3. You could end up going to 3 games, and no reason to risk anything here when I think this is pretty much a sure thing.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Vici Gaming are talking right now. They're just saying, listen, we know we need to kind of buckle down here. And I think if FY has, you know, a Force Staff or a Blink Dagger, he maybe makes that play and gets out of there, but he doesn't have that available to him at his disposal, at least not yet. He's probably farming up his Blink next. He's a couple hundred gold away, and if he gets that, maybe they can be as aggressive as they were just a moment ago. You look at Nyx Assassin, he's actually doing it again right now. They're not sure what's going on as of right now for first departure, because there aren't actually any wards in the jungle here, but they see a couple heroes top. They can scout out mid and see Achins here. The Blink and Impale might come in just a moment. The Vendetta is going to come first. There's going to be the TP in from ROTK Achin. What was stolen, I think, Power Shot was. So 1 kill immediately. They Nature's Wrath. Maybe try to go for a Roshan, and that seems to be the case here for VG.
Yeah, so no more messing around. Just going to take Roshan. And once they have that Aegis in the hand, there's there's nothing else really to do. There's a tier 2 to grab top lane, and First Departure just have to be able to take a fight. Stand-in is actually farming really well. He's the only person on his team that is more farmed than the Visage over on Vici Gaming, but I guess almost has a hex up, might be able to deal with the BKB over on the Luna if he could finish that up and drop it, but it looks like right now First Departure actually just going for this fight over Roshan.
Oh, and they hook shot in on Super, maybe not the best idea. He's going to get telekinesis up, he's going to back off. Luna grabs the Aegis now. Hana maybe in trouble here. Impale just going to miss right now. Visage stuns not anywhere near as well. But Siler's going to run right on in. He gets shackle shotted, but no latch coming out. Soul Assumption, long range, doing a bit of damage, pushing them all back. The Astral coming through maybe in a second, and actually already went Super with the Impale on Stand-in. There's going to be Lucent from the low ground. Soul Assumption, Medallion's up, the right click is there. Hana's got to fight now. BKB flying. Eclipse is going to hit on Hana, and only Hana. The mech keeping him alive. The last hit doesn't go. The right click, it will. That's dominating for Sylar. Meanwhile, Fenrir cleans up the kill on the OD. 2 down. And they're looking to maybe push a set of Raxes here if they can get in.
Do end up losing the Aegis on Sylar, but the 2 biggest threats on First Departure are dead, so... I think Vici just go for the high ground. They could back off all the way to top lane and take the tier 2, but... I don't know if they bother.
They want this tier 3, it looks like. The thing is, there is a buyback up on the OD, and maybe he can try to grab a kill. Achin, though, speaking of kill... He's done. Fisher's going to be on Super. TP coming in from ROTK. Hook shot now in. FY in a bit of trouble. Telekinesis out. Nice play there. Fade Bolt. Nothing else they can do to grab a kill. Mech. Oh, but the blink. Just kidding. Mian. Soul Assumption. Lucent Beam. The right clicks are there. Nyx Assassin grabs that one. And they're playing Musical Towers. They head to the mid and try to put some tower damage on the tier 3. OD. Astral Imprisonment. 4 staff out. Super looking for Hana next. The Fisher to block him, or at least stop him from going any further than that. Oh, big Sanity's Eclipse taking down Super real quick, but that's all they can grab with that. Now Sylar maybe looking for the tier 3 as well as damage onto Hana. They're pushing it back for now, and it looks like Vici Gaming will retreat. Pretty happy with what they accomplished, even if it's just tower damage.
Yeah, there's no reason I think to force that any further. Your Nyx Assassin is down, and Super's been making a lot of plays for them, setting up a whole bunch of kills that just didn't look like they were there at all. So, First Departure, well done. They managed to hold. They got the Aegis down, but it's still a long road to recovery if they're going to get back into this game.
Yeah, that's an understatement. 15,000 gold lead and 14,000 experience lead, and I guess they should be thanking their lucky stars it's not more, but I think that's just been on, okay play coming out from all of their heroes. They've done the best they can, given the hole that they're in, but, time is slowly slipping away for them.
Yeah, the Bristleback is no longer as scary as he was 5-6 minutes ago. His 1k HP pool is starting to look a little bit meager at this point.
And that's like 21 minutes into the game. Usually Bristlebacks start being effective at like 13 minutes in. Now Sylar's actually fighting here, then gets cogged out. Hookshot in was stolen by FY. He got that done. That's his kill. Well, actually Sylar grabs the last hit. FY though taking some damage, no telekinesis, shackle shot latches. In the end, a 1-for-1 trade. And just because how farmed that Rubik is, it actually probably goes the way of First Departure.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Well, they're actually killing Hana top though, which that's not going to go First Departure's way, because that is not only a kill, but a tier 2 tower probably as well.
And RTK already has his Necrobook up. He's almost got Necro 3
Dire's top
as
tower
well,
has
so.
fallen.
Also, I don't know why FY hookshot it in there. I think the Clockwork was just dead to the... Was he dead to the beam? I think he was, so...
Yeah.
Oh well, FY goes for the flashy plays. Not quite able to back it up, but First Departure is still just pinned inside their base. Vici Gaming, if they're feeling super cautious, they could just continue to split push and wait until the next Roshan, but we'll see. There is the Hex up on the OD.
I was going to mention that. That's actually surprising that he has that. That's a big pickup, and a credit to Stand-in for farming so quickly and so effectively. He does have 133 last hits. I don't know where he got all of those, considering, what's happening to his team, but he's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing very well for himself. And it gives them a chance against the Luna. If you can force staff in and Hexer before the BKB goes off, you're only looking at 1,000 HP to work through, and they don't really have any means to counter-initiate that well, aside from maybe the Nyx Assassin just jumping in with the stun. And speaking of Nyx jumping in with a stun.
Yeah, it happens on Asha, and again, it seems like it's been all game. He'll survive, however, and a hook shot in on a super, taking some damage. He'll force staff his way out of there. Actually, Blink Dagger on cooldown now. Looks like the rest of the fight is turning around. As you can see, the TP in from ROTK. Mian maybe in trouble. He'll try to TP out. Not going to make it in time. Standing, getting sprouted up. He'll fall next. Double kill for Fenrir once again. Now, you can see... Oh, poor Hana. Once again, medallioned up. They call GG. Triple kill for Fenrir. He's got, like, on the visage. And just like that, First Departure say, let's recompose ourselves here and get into game 2.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, still a full best of 3, and First Departure, given the circumstances, I think they played very well.
Agreed. I agree with you completely. I think that they just lost a little bit. They got caught out too many times, and I think a big part of their game was Earthshaker not getting those levels early on. So good stuff from VG though, to really be a solid, have a solid all-around game and just take the game at about 24 minutes, which is the exact time you expect from them. So there's a casual eclipse coming out from Sylar. Why not? Interestingly enough.
Yeah, I think the other problem for First Departure is, Vici Gaming during the draft. It seemed like they stayed cool, calm, and collected, and didn't drop a single second of bonus time.
Oh, look at this. Look at the Sandy's Eclipse coming out. They're still fighting, although it's not really going their way. They're grabbing a couple of kills. Hana will fall. GG called this time around from stand-in, and now it should be the real GG.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant victory.
Lubby just wanted his one blink slam, and I think that was it.
Wanted to get it in there, so can't complain, I guess. Just wanted to get it done. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the first game of this best of 3 series between Vici Gaming and First Departure. VG taking it handedly. So any thoughts before we head out of here, Baseskip?
I'm just hoping that First Departure can go into game 2 with maybe a little bit more of a plan in mind for their draft. Just play something comfortable, and hopefully we'll just have a good game. Looking forward to some good Dota.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far we've had a lot of that tonight. So we are going to jump into a quick break, but before we do, I want to make sure everyone knows, of course, this is the Fengyun Dota 2 battle, as it's called. Your casters, myself, is Mont, and of course with me is Baseskip. If you enjoyed the casting, make sure you follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/MontDota2, and of course twitter.com/Baseskip for him. And so we will take that quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, guys. Stick around.